common alteration that men and women often need to let out their pants, the waist of their pants. It's very easy. One of the ways you can know if you have enough fabric to do that is to open up the pant, and you're going to look in the back seam, and you can see that on these pants I have approximately 1 inch on each side, so 2 inches of fabric that I can let out. So taking these pants from presumably a 29-inch waist to a 31. Go into the leg and pull the other leg out. That way we can just get, this is all we need. We like to use these blades. You can get them, I think my husband buys them at Harbor Freight because he likes the coupons. So he goes in and buys a pack of these and gets one of those free flashlights. We have hundreds of them, I think. All right, so we've opened up those pants. So now we can pull out our excess. This is that extra fabric we were talking about. We have about 2 inches of there. Okay, and then if you have one of these devices, cool. Yeah, you don't need it. Yeah, keep it simple, really. So then we take our chalk, and we're just going to draw the line, because you want to leave some space here. You don't want to, you can't really let that out too much. So we're just going to stay right about on that same line, and then we're just going to shape right in like that. You can eyeball this if, after you've done a couple pair, you don't really need your line, kind of know where you're going. Okay, and if you don't have one of these, still take one leg and pull it through the other one. You can take your chalk, and we're going to do the same thing. You can just draw your line, letting those out so you get your inch. Like that. You want to make sure that this right here lines up. So when you go on the inside of the pant, I like to take a pin and see how there's that seam. That's that seam that you want to line up. So go inside one side and then double check it on the back to make sure you're still on that seam, and I am, so we should be good. That's it for measuring. Okay, so we're going to use black thread on the top and on the bottom. Your stitch length, you're going to want to be long, and the reason you want to have a long stitch is that in the event you ever have to take these back in, if you have a short stitch, you risk ripping the fabric, and so we just always do a nice longer, not as long as a jean hem or anything like that, but something in the middle. You could cut this piece and get this piece out of the way. It might make it a little bit smoother of a transition. Just like that, and it gives you a little bit more room to work with. Just remember to put it back or it'll be uncomfortable later. And then go ahead and lower your foot. When you get to this point, you just want to make sure that this is flattened, opened up. That way it'll lay nice and flat at the end. And then here, do a back stitch. All right, and then go ahead and take your pin out. These actually get stitched twice, just so that they're some extra stitching. That way if you do the splits, you don't split your pants. You're welcome. All right, now is the fun part. This is actually one of my favorite parts. When it cooperates, we have to take the old seam out. Okay, so we're removing this seam. This is actually the factory seam that came with the pants, and so we're gonna take your blade, pull it tight like this, or whatever utensil you're using, and just kind of get that going. Be really careful, because if you rip this fabric, it's makes for a lot more work trying to patch it. I think this is going the other way, but we'll see. Actually, okay, so I think this is starting from the bottom up. This is a running stitch, and they look like they've been worn quite a bit, so it's actually kind of hard for me to tell which way the running stitch is going. Once you get that running stitch, you can just pull, and it just saves you the hassle and also the stress of trying to rip this seam out. Okay, let's see if I got it. Yeah, there we go. Look at that, isn't that so satisfying? Love it.
Should put it on the internet.
Yeah, we should. And then you can go to the other side and pull this out. Here.
A little montage of you pulling the thread out.
Yeah, I would love to do that. I don't know that people would want to see that though. Maybe. Alright, cool. Okay. There's a little bit right there, so I dropped my knife.
Got a whole pile up down here.
That's where they keep going, huh? I'm dripping sweat too. Okay, so now we're just gonna make sure that that's open all the way. I missed a little spot there. Okay. See how nice that is and how it lines up. Oh, so pretty. All right, so now you can go on the inside of the pant. Sometimes you can get this seam to, you want it to lay nice and flat. If you've ever had bulk in the back of your pants, you know that it's not all that comfortable. So we're gonna try to get that to go flat for him. You could press it. That would be another way, is to press that, but you really don't need to. So we're there. And now what we're gonna do is called a stitch in the ditch. That's what my grandmother used to call it. I don't know if other grandmas call it that, but I'm living for it. So you're not gonna go very far. You just need a little stitch in a ditch. So maybe you could do, you know, that's about an inch there and go about an inch out. So you've got about 2 inches there. Nice and slow with that long stitch length. Just in that little ditch there. See how it just got right down in there? You can't even see it. It's hidden. I've done that a few hundred times. And then when you look on the other side, that closed the waistband back up. Nice and flat. I will go press those. Oh, let's put this back together. And we're just gonna do a little teeny tiny little stitch right there.
Just, what that's called?
No, what is it?
I have no idea.
I don't know. If anybody knows, you could tell us. I'm sure we could look it up. Crotch gusset? I don't know.
That sounds good to me. We can just make up our own words for stuff. We can be the authority on the internet. I heard on YouTube it was called the crotch gusset, okay?
Yeah, I like that. You can learn anything on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Saw it on the internet, it must be true.
I'm sure that my grandmother knows, but I don't know. Okay. Okay, so our 2 pair of pants are finished. We've let out the waist all the way. I like to use these little pressing hands to get a nice new, right? We've got to create a new little crease there, and we got to take out the old crease. So use your steam iron on a steam setting. I always test, if you don't have a boot or a shoe or whatever they're called on the end of your machine, test the fabric on the inside of the cuff just to make sure that it's not going to burn or melt with all of these blends. Just steam the heck out of them. Get those old creases out. And we slide the ham down. We're going to go all the way down into that, where the new seam and the old seam meet. Make sure you get your threads. It's really hot.
So if you liked this video and you want to see more like it, hit subscribe in our channel, and you can see us do more alterations. Thanks for watching.